5 of the world's economies with the fastest growth rates are the BRICS nations. Additionally, the BRICS economic bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is growing. 41 of the world's population lives in the 3.23 billion people that make up the BRICS nation. Additionally, they claim responsibility for 24 of the global GDP. Additionally, these organizations collectively control 16 of the overall value of global trade. With this much influence, the U.S. and the currency are now in grave jeopardy. China and other members have lately enticed new nations to join the group. And in this video, we'll be talking about just that. For access to all the hidden news you haven't heard about, subscribe to China News. So let's get going. China supports the expansion of the BRICS. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs now indicated support for the expansion of the BRICS in October. Additionally, there was talk that Saudi Arabia would join the group. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly expressed his country's desire in joining BRICS lately, according to reports from South African media. They added that Saudi Arabia is not the only nation interested in joining the group. China is dedicated to guiding the group through its current membership expansion process and towards more BRICS plus collaboration as this year's BRICS chair. Additionally, the BRICS Plus partnership has invited the heads of state of other developing countries ever since it was founded in 2017. Additionally, they want them to take part in the discourse. China emphasized that the BRICS is not an exclusive club during the 14th BRICS summit in June. Instead, it operates like a big family where everyone looks out for one another. Additionally, it is a relationship when cooperation is advantageous to all parties. Dominance of new currency dollars in order to further promote their shared economic objectives, the BRICS nations may now decide to establish their own reserve currency. It will be connected to a basket of the 5 member states' currencies. Short history since 1974, trading and price of oil have been based on the dollar as the de facto benchmark. After the Arab oil embargo, the 1973 oil crisis, and the elimination of the dollar's link to gold in 1971, it was a turbulent time. In exchange for us military and political backing as well as sales of its oil, Saudi Arabia agreed to price its crude in U.S. dollars and to keep some of its reserves in U.S. Treasury bonds. Soon after, other oil importing nations did the same. And the Saudis continued to link their currency to the U.S. dollar. These petrodollar agreements helped the oil-producing nations of the Persian Gulf become rich. Additionally, the United States had little trouble financing its enormous trade deficit. Now, this led to a strong currency, which made us goods relatively expensive and aided in China's industrial offshoring. The oil business has created complex mechanisms throughout time for determining pricing and reducing physical and financial hazard. Additionally, this was carried out along the supply networks that transport crude oil from the ground to the homes of customers. This market also led many to conclude that the U.S. dollar would remain the de facto reserve currency for oil for the foreseeable future. The marketplaces had a wide range of services that were challenging, if not impossible, to reproduce, and they were both deep and liquid. Russian de-dollarization, but anxiety and stress have gotten worse over time. It's because the U.S. is taking over the global commerce system based on the dollar. The United States is currently being accused by some countries and economies of acting unilaterally to block oil shipments from nations whose policies Washington disagrees with. Just take Venezuela and Iran into consideration. It has been determined to look for a swift substitute. Additionally, China has to set up a framework for foreign financial transfers. These initiatives are still in their early stages, though. Russia, China, and other countries worked together to develop US currency substitutes. They also tried to help Iran get around US restrictions by creating a laborious, swift replacement of their own. Following that, Ukraine was invaded. Due to harsh sanctions imposed by the United States and the European Union, Russian business has now been severely restricted. Additionally, they froze Russia's $300 billion in reserves. Moscow objected, calling it theft. Now, some Western opponents have expressed worry that the dollar's status as a reserve currency might be harmed if foreign reserves are not protected. Additionally, it lessens its appeal as a method of trading oil and other commodities. When offered payment for its oil and natural gas in dollars or euros, Moscow promptly refused them. As a result, the price of oil overnight divided in half over the globe. For oil transfers, the dollar continues to be the most used currency. However, oil exports from Russia, Iran, and Venezuela to China, India, Turkey, and a few other countries are all settled using the currencies of the importing nations, the Chinese yuan and the Russian ruble. Although these expenses are now hardly reported, it is generally believed that they are 30/50s less than their claimed monetary counterparts. Participants in the non-dollar market have a harder time hedging the financial risks involved in their deals. Additionally, they frequently struggle to find new customers for physical oil. They may not have the best insurance coverage available. However, they are willing to take the risks because they pay far less for some of their oil than importers from Europe and the United States. The price drop will have a significant negative impact on Russia. However, because Russians have little access to the world's foreign exchange markets, knowing precisely how bad it is difficult. Additionally, they have restricted trading options due to the erratic exchange rates that dictate how much they are paid. Saudi next. Furthermore, the shale oil and gas revolution, which significantly reduced the U.S. need for Saudi or other imported oil, provided a backdrop against which the Russian drama for Saudi Arabia and other OPEC members developed. As a result of years of military errors, the American people are no longer interested in subsidizing Saudi Arabia's defense. And this is upending the 1974 petrodollar agreement in all directions. Activities in Saudi Arabia that may have previously gone unnoticed were condemned as abuses of human rights. As a result, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was ignored by President Joe Biden. In response to rising fuel prices this summer, Biden changed course and met with MBs in Jeddah to request more oil. 2 months later, OPEC Plus decided to cut production by 2 million barrels per day, with Saudi Arabia clearly in the lead. And as a result, oil prices started to decline back toward the Saudis' ostensible personal bubble of $90, $100 per barrel. Repercussions for the dollar over the years, Saudi Arabia has accumulated enormous financial reserve. Additionally, the majority of those reserves are in US dollars. Saudi Arabia may serve as a model for other oil and commodity exporters by abandoning dollar pricing, and as a result, the dollar status as a safe haven may weaken. Where could the Saudis transfer their liquid assets furthermore? You see, traveling to the People's Republic of China is neither risk-free or friendly. Additionally, the euro just doesn't seem like a wise choice at this time, given all that is happening in the U.S. It also doesn't appear to be gold. Cryptocurrencies are also widely used. Now, future events could change. The Saudis gave up their currencies linked to the dollar along with the dollarization of oil prices. A cheaper Saudi riyal would also be preferred because of the need for economic diversification brought on by the energy shift. There would still be a financial loss, though. You see, the U.S. stands to lose a lot as well. In addition, the nation's access to cheap credit to pay down its enormous national debt would disappear. It may also lose the freedom to censure other nations at will. Additionally, a loss of status is not something to be taken lightly in this highly heated environment. Additionally, easing the hit by lowering the trade deficit through local manufacturing restoration might assist, but this would take time. The argument for keeping things as they are right now can be persuasive for the time being. But what if China decides all of a sudden that it no longer wants to purchase oil and other commodities using dollars? It appears that discussions about sending payments in yuan to Saudi Arabia have already taken place. What if, on the other hand, there is a conflict between China and the U.S. over Taiwan? In all likelihood, there would be no way to convert from dollars to yuan. Beijing has not shown any sign of wanting to promote the yuan as an alternative to the dollar at the risk of losing domestic economic sovereignty. Additionally, it seems more plausible that the exceptional weaponization of the dollar in the war in Ukraine to strengthen incentives for financial fragmentation is taking place. Ironically, the global oil industry's central function in US-led globalization may turn it into a crucial weapon in its demise. It's not impossible, though. Now pay attention, new European sanctions on US, Europe refused on G20 summit. I know you want to know more about that, so just click on this video right here